Right. So, hi everyone. I am Wesley, and welcome to Today on Friday. Yes, weekly Friday show that is hosted by Dice and also UOWM SCCM. Yeah, the School of
Mm.
Computing and Creative Media. Yes. So today on Friday, we will have Mr. Ken. If you
Hello.
guys don't know who is, yeah, hi Mr. Ken. So yeah, so, in case you haven't been in a uni long enough, Mr. Ken is a math lecturer. It's a mathematics lecturer. Is it game lab side?
Yeah, game dev side and for foundation.
I see. Right, yeah. So yeah, she's a mathematics lecturer. She's also a big fan of uh, gacha games such as Genshin Impact. Right. So and he's here today to talk about the math behind Genshin Impact. So yeah.
Yep.
So
So yeah, thanks for having me. So I'll just start off on this topic of why Genshin Impact. So uh Dice actually approached me and asked me, "Hey, Mr. Ken, can you come up with a talk session of any game?" And it just so happened that I had a debate, more like a conversation with another Genshin player, and and we were talking why is it that these guys are doing so much damage and what's the best builds and everything. And after 2 hours debate, and then when Dice asked, okay, a talk. I just had that Genshin debate recently. Okay, let's talk about Genshin then. And it was interesting for the fact that this friend of mine, he wasn't that interested when it comes to mathematics of how to do more damage. And then when we talk so much and he said, okay, this is the best build and we need this and this and this, and then they just clicked, and okay, here we are talking about Genshin. So which comes to the fact that when we talk about Genshin, it's always about gacha and everything, but the topic today is how do we do more damage and how do we understand the damage calculations in Genshin Impact. So it ties to this meme that every YouTube video we see is like, I'm doing 500,000, 1 million, but at the cost of it, you see several characters with a thumb like this, and just because they can do so much doesn't mean you can actually implement what they're doing. Is because we have this term called whales. They are actually whaling their characters up to high number of constellations and high number of refinements on their weapons. But we shouldn't be discouraged over, I can't do that. But let's just break the details and just how do we understand this? Like, how do we understand the damage calculations? So uh, just like any RPG, we should be focusing on one common aspect, is and that is character levels. So Genshin Impact, we go from level 1 to level 90. Then yeah, I can do that, but the Genshin Impact is just like any gacha game where you have to grind for the materials, and grinding is a common thing that most gacha games have. So I kind of broke down most of the materials that you need to level up. So the next slide. So after doing all the calculations, this is the amount of uh Wanderer's Advice, adventure books, heroes wits, and the money you need, the amount of mora. So uh as we in some uh images that I saw, and also the forum posts, most of the time they always set aside more hero wits in comparison to adventure books. But when you play the actual game, especially the, what you call that, ley lines, yeah. So the ley lines, they always give more adventure books than hero wits, and that occurred to me that, hey, if all these images keep emphasizing on heroes wits, what's going to happen to the adventure books? So uh and as how I put the image on top here, one heroes wit is 4 adventure books, and one adventures book is equivalent to 5 advice. So assuming that I play a lot of ley lines, I'm going to get more adventure books than heroes wits. And if you follow these images where I need to put more hero wits into the character, then adventure books is going to be left out. So what I did was I just balanced it in a way where if I put more emphasis on adventure books compared to heroes wits, I will have this number, a total of 12 wonders advice, 475 adventure books, and 299. Well, you can put some leeway and just put 300 for those who like to round it up. And uh, assuming you actually farm for all this using condensed resin as in 40 resin, something like that. Yeah, 40 resins. Then you need to do about 37 to 38 experience ley lines to collect all these books. Then for money, Mora, uh, you have bounties, rewards, and other things that accumulates to it. So it's up to 2,930 no 2,093,400 Mora. So put all that in a condensed resin ley line. You need to do it about 17 times. If you don't do bounties and all that. So that's the character level. Now we're going to go to the actual topic, which is the damage. So after I think a lot of expert gamers and other mathematic enthusiasts who plays Genshin, they actually managed to fix or come up with the actual formula.
Oh no.
Yeah, math.
Oh no, math.
So damage is equivalent to all this, and you take that damage and you put it against the enemy's defense and resistance, and you get the actual damage. Now, I'm not sure all the audience here is like, am I going to this or not? Like with a Paimon face. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to explain. So I'm going to go one by one, especially the first one, damage. So damage is attack times your ability, which is talents, character talents, followed by the bonus damage that you have everywhere and crit damage. So the next slide is the attack. So attack is the taking your base attack from your status, and base attack is a combination of your character's attack stat with the weapon, and you get this number here. So the game doesn't really separate this is character, this is weapon. They actually combine it all the time, and you take this base attack and you multiply it with the other bonuses you have all over the game. Like you have some characters, when you increase their level, they get more attack. So I think the main character has this. And then the artifacts with the attack percentage here means you go to the first green. Then you got Gladiator's Final, that's the same thing. And some other weapons will also increase the attack percentage. Then, in addition, you have this word called flat attack. Flat attack means that it's another bonus attack that is outside of the percentage, because percentage means it's going to increase based on how much base attack you have. Flat attack is completely separate, and you can earn them through artifacts, food, and even this infamous icon that we see all the time in those Genshin videos. And artifacts also have what we call sub status that increases flat and percentage as well. So it's a high combination of both. And eventually, when you put all this in, then you will get this green stat which you see in the main menu. So the example here is I have 238 and then plus 57. The 57 is coming from one of these things, but because I didn't put too much, that's why you have this small number here. Then in addition, now that I covered attack, next one is ability. So before I even continue, I'm gonna explain more about
That.
the Bennett buff. So Bennett has a ultimate attack in which he actually slams the ground and then creates this field which increases the attack whoever is inside there, and this is actually a flat bonus, a flat bonus that is based on his base attack. So right, I have an example here that it's his ultimate is level 4, and it's going to set a buff of 70% on top of his base. That's why I have a base of 310, and when I use the ultimate and I go to the menu, I get 70% of this number here, which is 217. So 217 plus 310, you get 527. Now you take that 217 and then you put it on the other characters you swap in, and that's how these characters do more damage. Because if I recall correctly, if you put this talent at level 10, it's going to be more than 100%. And if your bandit is like 700 or 650 base, you're going to take that 650 and put it on top on the other characters, which is why you get to see all these amazing damage.
Ugh.
And this kind of puts bandit rarity a bit higher than most characters, because all I need to do is just put that field on the ground, and I get the same base damage as Bennett on top of my main character, of top of my main DPS character. So that's the reason why Bennett is so sought out in single player and co-op. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so back to the next one, which is abilities. So abilities is well, you see all these percentages here. So you take your current attack that's being buffed up by your percentages and flat attack, and then you take these into consideration. So this is something we cannot ignore, because if I have an overall damage of 1000 and my first hit is only 60% of that, I'm only doing 600. So the rule of thumb is this is talents that you have to raise, especially if it's your favorite character or it's a character that you need to support, like Bennett. So Bennett's ultimate will have to be level 10, and if you're using a particular character that uses normal attacks all the way, you're going to need to focus here, like maybe 80% and above, for that character. Because if you look at the status here, 60% is not going to cut it. Not going to cut it at level 5. I think maybe that's why a lot of people ignore the main character.
Oh, yeah. Who even has the main character in your team?
I don't know.
This is so sad.
Yeah, kind of sad. I mean, this
Yeah.
this is this is my main character, so yeah, I can't emphasize on that. I
Oh,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
just so you know, the pictures that you're all seeing right now is from the game app from my account. So yeah,
yeah. Mr.
so
Ken's godly account.
nah, it's not godly. So the attack times your ability, and that's your current damage. Now we go to the bonus stuff, which the game doesn't really tell you. So the bonus damage is coming from the other elementals and other interesting features your weapons and artifacts give. So uh, if I have a normal attack of 1000, and I do just a normal attack of 60% of that, 600. But if that damage turns out to be an elemental one, like Geo here, that means you have to raise that damage by another 90%. Or if you see the word decimal, 1 plus 0.904. So that's a lot. You're taking 600 and you bump it up again to almost twice the amount, and you're doing more damage. And the other weapons, like this Bane of Fire and Thunder, if the enemy you're dealing with has the Pyro or Electro status on top of them, you're doing additional 20, and it stacks with the elemental that you have. For example, if I'm using Kaching, if I use Kaching, I throw the lightning skill on top of the enemy, gets Electro, and then when I proceed to press R2 to initiate her sword into Electro, and I'm using this Bane of Fire and Thunder, I now have 20%, and any other electro damage bonus I have on the left, let's say 60%. So 60% plus 20%, 80%. So it actually stacks up. And if I have a weapon that does 48% on normal attack, this means I shouldn't take 60% from the previous slide plus 48. It's actually 60% times 48. And as you see all here, the elemental damage bonus and weapon artifact damage bonus, they all add up. They all add up. So this is where if you can put a lot of emphasis here, it does increase your damage by a lot. So it's all about the choice of how you want to play this character. Then last but not least is the critical. I think a lot of people are talking about why this person has 240% damage but 10% rate. That means just like rates and damage, the higher the rate, the more frequent the critical damage will occur. And ideally, we want to have 100%, but 100% means you got to strive to reach that number, which is possible, but it's going to come off with a lot of sacrifices. So that's why most Genshin players would say if you want to have good critical rate, it must be half of your critical damage. So let's say you got a critical damage of 100, then there is 50%. But 50% means I'm just flipping a coin, like the heads or tails, right? So that's why the heads or tail mat, you will get the damage, but at times you will not get the damage. So you can if you want to have more critical damage, you should at least put up to 60% or even 70%. But don't just have to remember that it's not going to be 100%, but at least you still have a good rate for your damage to occur as often. And as you can see the images here, the there are characters who can increase the rate or damage, which we can balance out on how do we put the critical rate and damage to share. And that is why uh, a lot of people have this term god roll for artifacts. God roll for artifacts would mean that you got a critical rate as a main stat, and then you got this 26.4 critical damage here. So that means this particular artifact helps on the entire critical portion. And if your substats can have a mix of both, that people will say this is good, or this is slightly better than the artifact that you have. And the food you see here, this food icon, it increases critical rate and critical damage by 20%. So the moment you eat this, you got 20% on both sides, which is really good. But the problem is, uh, you need to have Chichi for it. The five-star character, yeah.
The
And
wrong character for food.
yeah, so if we add up everything, the artifacts, the weapons, and everything, it all adds to the green stat from the previous slide. So that is why we need to we go to the other part, which
Oh
is
no,
defense.
more maths.
So as you remember the previous slide, we got base attack that's times with all the artifacts, the attack percentage, flat attack, and then times your ability, then damage bonus, critical, and then you take that damage, which is what you believe you have against the opponent, and then you times with this ridiculous looking number here. But I'm going to keep it short, all right? No one's going to do this anyway. So too long didn't read. If your level is the same level as that enemy, you're going to get a point 0.5 modifier there. If your level
Oh,
is 80 and you handle a level 86 or level 96 enemy, you're probably going to hit 0.0 below 0.5, but around 0.48. But if you also happen to have characters that will reduce the defense, it will increase the zero point 0.5 to be much more higher. But unfortunately, there's only three characters who will do that. It's these three.
Ah,
So one is
slay.
limited, which you need constellation 2,
Oh
and
no.
that explains why Klee is so good. You got Lisa, which you level up to reach passive 2, and then you got Razor Constellation 4. So looking at these three characters, does anyone here use Lisa?
Yes, for like one time.
I have to admit my Lisa's level is not even at the level of passive level 2, and
I
Klee
thought I
yeah
thought she was good. That's why. Yeah, and
uh
then I found out she wasn't.
understandable. I mean, Constellation 4 Razor, if you're lucky enough to have him there, then that's good. Klee is just if you're a whale, then no, you get the 23%.
Person
Yeah.
child.
So that is why Klee is so good, because if you go back to the previous slide, you're just reducing you're actually getting higher than zero point 0.5. That's why it's limited be limited.
Uh,
And yeah, so now that we understand how defense is, which is rule of thumb 0.48 to zero point 0.5. If you have these three characters, it's going to be higher than zero point 0.5. Then the last one is the resistance. This is very interesting, because normally when it comes to resistance, every character or any enemy will have 0%, right? Somehow this game, the most enemies are 10% resistance on physical and elemental, and that will mean you will always get a 1 minus 0.1. So that means every damage you do, it's always 0.9, unless you have characters that will reduce that resistance. But the moment you reduce it, it's not a flat 1 plus anymore. This mihoyo, the developers, they take that negative value, divide by 2. So it's like, if you see this example, 4p set, decrease opponent's elemental resistance to the element infused in the swirl by 40%, right? So if that enemy is 10%, you minus 40, you get negative 30. Then 1 minus minus is plus. So you get you're supposed to be a plus 40 or plus 30, my bad. But that 30 is being divided by 2 instead, and you get 1.15 instead, or in that damage calculation. So when I had this friend who made the Verison Vernier 4 piece, he actually complained to me, hey, this isn't plus 30. This is less than that. And we checked the wikis and found out it was 15%, which is very weird, because normally most RPGs, they don't reduce the kind of resistance. Not sure why, but yeah, as you can see
Mihoyo.
in the slide, it's not a 1 plus, it's a 1 plus resistance divided by 2. Yeah, right. So with that all said, I got an example here. So
Oh,
and before, but which comes to the final question: what should I focus on? You want to put 5,000 attack, but very low critical. You want to put more bonus and more ability, but what's gonna happen? We One thing about Genshin is that you put emphasis on one side, the chances that you're gonna sacrifice the rest. But we understand that ability is something that we can raise with the with the cost of materials and millions and more of
grinding.
yeah, grinding.
Yeah, and
So
also your precious time.
so it all comes down to uh what should we do? Well, my only answer is set a balance, just like how everything's supposed to be. And
Thanos
yeah,
reference.
so you try to balance out on the attack, balance out on your elementals and bonus damage from weapons and artifacts, and try to get a good critical damage value there. So okay, I'm gonna go to my example. So I have this character with this status here, all right, and that means the character and weapon which is 734. That is my base, and the base is being affected by artifacts and flat attack, along with this buff here, uh, fervent flames. So fervent flames, if I have two pyro characters, I get a 25%, right? So the green stat you see here, the 1104, it's already added the 25% there, which is what helps helps me to see, okay, I'm getting 25%. And this particular character, I was lucky. So 73.6, critical rate 122.3, which is, if I change all that, the decimal is 2.223. So there is a 73.6% chance that I will do 2.223 more damage. That's
Ouch.
how we see it. Yeah. Then the character's charge attack damage is 249, which is 2.49, and this is all the extra buffs that I'm putting. So I was lucky enough to get the Lost Prayer of the Sacred Winds. So it's a catalyst where uh, every 4 seconds I get 8% elemental damage bonus. That means I get Pyro, Amino, Electro, Cryo, Geo, and Hydro damage bonus on this character, which is really wild because uh, it stacks 4 times. So within 16 seconds, I get 32%, and 32% with this Hydro artifact, with this 15% Hydro damage bonus, and I'm doing charge attacks, which is 35% more. So I get 2.286 or 128.6% after 16 seconds. Yeah. Then if I calculate all this in, I'm going to get this is the amount of damage that I will do. 10462. And if I do critical, it's going to be this whooping number for a charge attack. But don't forget, we still got an enemy to deal with, right? So the target or the body bag I'm going to fight is this character.
Uh,
Yeah. So it's level 90, and my character level is level 80. So we think that too long didn't read thing there, right? But I'll just put the number here. It's 180 divided by 370. For in calculation, it's 0.486. That's actually very low. In even though it's a 10. So that's why it to actually put your characters up to level 90 instead of 80 all the time. But EXP books and money is it's always a concern. Yeah, and time.
and time.
Then
Yeah.
and as always, this character has a 10% resistance, which I don't want. So I have Zhongli. Zhongli has an interesting
Ah,
skill where if I hold his skill, I will create a shield, and the shield will reduce the elemental and physical resistance by 20%. Right? So 10% minus 20 is -10. But unfortunately, it's not 1.1, it's 1.05 because you take that 10% divide by 2. So putting that damage that I have earlier with all these calculations, this is what I'm gonna get for a charge attack.
that's
So
like about
533.
half.
It means if I do a charge attack on this enemy, I get 5338. If I do critical, I'm supposed to get this. But uh, one thing I want to put in mind is that even though I have all this calculation going on, the game kind of rounds up certain parts of the formula, which I'm not sure where. So that means I may not get 5338 or 11868 exactly. It's gonna be either higher or lower. So what would you like guess what character I'm gonna use? I mean the previous slide has the word hydro, right?
Yes. Sorry, I'm not the brightest student nor a good Genshin player. Wait, let me look back at my notes. Actually, I have no idea.
Okay,
I'm just
I,
gonna throw like
I got a
remember
video
the
for it. I got a video for it.
ah
So let's see it. Hopefully this
wait,
video
let me throw like a guess. Wait, does
chat water
anyone in the
character.
comments? Yeah, does anyone in the
Water,
chat have a guess first? I'm just gonna guess Mona. I don't know.
Mona.
I have no idea.
I mean,
I have no idea. I
no,
have no idea. I'm like,
because I'm using lost prayers, right? Yeah, the Mona will be the would be a higher choice. But okay lah. I'm not sure what the comments gonna say.
DPS Barbara.
DPS Barbara.
No. Yeah, another person in the comment also agree with me, Mona. Yes.
Right. So let's find out. So the strategy is I need to use Zhongli first before I do it. So don't forget it's a Hydro character, Zhongli at the back, and two fire characters. All right. So here goes.
Grand review. Ah, yes. Oh my god, it's actually Barbara.
So we're gonna see that will I do 11868 in the 16 second.
Bruh. Oh my god.
I got it 11898 and 5332. So I'm actually close to the mark.
DPS Barbara. Nice. Let's go.
So
Right,
yeah, the calculation is almost correct. I wrote there 11868, but the game put 11898 and 5332. So I was kind of lucky to get both the non-critical and critical damage there. So yeah, don't slack on Barbara.
oh
I can't,
man,
I
my
can't, I can't,
C6 Barbara finally has a use.
I mean, can't help it, right? You don't have any other water character aside from Chal, Barbara, and Mona and Qingqiu. So yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
ain't that the truth?
That's the truth. Yes, that's true. Ah, yeah. Well, Barbara DPS time.
Maybe if you have the right setup, yeah, she's pretty good. Okay, so now that we understand how damage works, we're gonna go to the other portion about the Genshin, which is one of the unique things about it, and that is the elemental reaction. So the elemental reaction is another thing that the players can consider to do more damage by setting proper elements onto the enemy. And I tried to make a good chart, but this is the best that I could. So
Yeah.
you have the seven elements aside from Dendro, which is being bullied by Pyro. You got all these swirls, crystallize, superconduct, vaporize, melt, and overloaded, and frozen, which equals to shattered. So uh, what Mihoyo did was very interesting, in which not only you have to consider your damage, you have to see, can I do a reaction that leads to certain aspects of that of more damage. So the first one is between water, fire, and ice, and that is vaporize and melt. So vaporize and melt, they actually take your actual damage, like Barbara's 11898, and they actually check, did you do a trigger? Did you do a water to fire or fire to water mix? And had that Taijin mage had fire element, and I do the charge attack, I will do twice the amount. It's like 11898 times 2. And if I have elemental mastery, like let's say 100 plus, it actually adds up towards the trigger, and any other bonuses that adds in will increase my times 2 damage much more further. It's amazing because by how much damage I can do just by either triggering water or fire. If I'm doing melt, it's the same thing, but uh you will do twice the damage if I'm doing fire against an ice enemy. So this is how we actually do a lot of calculations, and what makes vaporize and melt very powerful. You're doing twice, which is like removing the enemy defense modifier altogether, because enemy defense modifier is 0.8 to 0.5, right? So this is like 0.5 times 2 is back to 1. So that's why it's so good to have this vaporize and melt thing. But unfortunately, not every character uh has the benefits of being fire or water. You still got Electro and Electro and Wind. Yeah, Electro and Amino. So that leads to the other elemental reactions that is has their own formula, and the formula is really unique because if you're doing superconduct, electrocharge, frozen, which leads to shattered and overloaded, they actually have their own set of damage that is scaled to the character's level. So if you're at level 80, just like the Barbara just now, the doing either electrocharge or shattered, I will do this amount no matter what. The damage will always be fixed. So if you're using characters like Kaching and you do overloaded, and let's say she's level 90, that means she will do 2406 on top of that fire opponent. And vice versa, if you're using fire characters like Klee, Xiangling, and so on, if you do fire damage on lightning enemy, you will do 2406 at level 90. So the elemental reactions is scaled to the level, not to your base attack or anything. That's only exclusive to vaporize and melt. Then which comes to the last one, which I believe a lot of people don't really focus on, and that is Swirl.
Ah,
Swirl is very interesting because if that opponent has any of the four elements like water, ice, lightning, and fire, and I do a wind attack, I will do a swirl of that element, and it has its own fixed damage here. So if you have a level 90 Venti and you use a wind attack on a fire opponent, you will always do 722 no matter what, unless you have your elemental mastery stats and also any bonuses that you have, which you times on top of the 722. So if you have about um 400 elemental mastery, you will probably get more than 100% on top of this. So you mean you will do twice the amount of swirl damage. But swirl is also subjected to the triggers of water, fire, and ice. So, for example, I got two enemies. One is water, one is fire. If I do a wind attack on the water opponent, the I will get swirl water damage on that water opponent. But if the fire enemy so happens to be next to that water person and he gets the swirl is water. So water on fire, I do double damage. So the 722 will times 2 to the amount. So this what leads to what we call the sucrose bill. For the sucrose has an attack that deals a large amount of area damage, and if you have a lot of elements inside there, like fire, ice, lightning, and water all together, imagine this ulti doing a lot of damage with a lot of swirl. So that you can do about 2,000 to 4,000 per damage, as long as this sucrose is level 90 and have a huge amount of elemental mastery bonuses. So that's what makes sucrose builds and venti interesting. I'm not sure about xiao though. Xiao is too much DPS, yeah, to even consider this.
oof.
So there we have it. And now with all that said and done, this is how we actually calculate damage for Genshin Impact. So
Oh,
and
that's
just to sort of know where do we get Enter Mastery, you just go to the stats and you see the this is just 84, but the vaporize and melt is increased by this amount, but the rest has a very high amount here, 37.7. So if I have 400 to 500, it's going to be huge. And your although the swirl is 722, your overloaded is 2406 level 90. This elemental mastery is going to help you a lot more by putting the amount. And as you can see, the elemental mastery bonuses down here, I managed to screenshot some of them. Variation Vernier 4 piece, not only you increase the swirl by 60%, that means 722 times 1.6, in addition to the other bonuses you have. Like say, if I take this swirl here, 37.7, so it means 97.7. Wow. Then if you have someone like Mona, when any of your party members hits an opponent affected by an omen, the effects of the hydro related element reactions are enhanced for 8%, 8 seconds. Yeah, so this is how you play around with elemental mastery. Okay, with that said in mind, and that's all for I have to say. So thanks for thanks for having me, and I hope,
Paimon.
yeah, and I hope you guys can be as
Yay.
strong as Paimon here.
Oh man, that was amazing. Right, yes. I'm still in the middle of taking notes. That's a lot of formulas.
I can probably share it to you. You know, with all this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Right. The one thing that I didn't actually realize is how much mathematics was going on in Genshin.
Mm,
I think
the
that's also probably why I'm bad at it.
no, but not with this. I hope everyone gets a good idea how to do damage rather than just sitting down. Man, this guy is doing 100k. I wish I could do that, but yeah, you can, just not the exact amount.
Right. So right, yeah, that's it. We do have a few questions from the chat.
Go ahead.
Again, you guys can still ask questions. If you're in the Discord, you can ask them on
Oh,
stream chat one.
let me see the screen.
Yes,
Yeah, don't mind my face, because the
right.
other screen is always.
So right. So before that, I have a question, and it's actually from me.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you have Wu Tao.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So right. So this is also probably one of the same questions from someone in the
Oh,
chat
yeah.
that asked, "How do you get? Is there any advice to get a 5-star character, especially for like
Uh,
poor people like me who haven't get his
oh,
Wu
wait,
Tao yet?"
wait. Just before anyone says anything, I did not spend a single cent in this game.
You heard him, guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Ken supremacy.
No Welkin, no BP, nothing. Because I wanted to see how far MiHoYo is gonna go, in terms of freebies, because so far the amount of freebies is, how to say, minimal and enough for someone to roll just enough. It's all about knowing how are you going to get this character and when. So so the question is how to get a 5-star character, right?
Yes,
So
that
yeah, how
is
to get a
correct.
5-star character. So if you remember not remember, the MiHoYo actually wrote a description. If you want to get this, if you roll 90 times, you will get
Mhm.
100% a 5-star character, but it's it's either the character that's being promoted or any character that's in the current pool. So it's kind of like a 50% thing. So if you manage to get the promoted character at that 90th roll, that means you win the system. But of course, there's something called,
You win in life
yeah,
also.
there's something called soft pity. So soft pity means after a certain amount of rolls, starting from the 75th to 89th, the rates actually increase. So that means you don't necessarily have to roll up to 90 unless you're very unlucky. Uh,
Me.
yeah, if you manage to get that shining gold thing dropping down, that means you did not need to grow 90. It's more of, will you get the 50%? But let's say you failed, like in my experience, I tried to roll for Xiao. I got Kaching instead. So that was the 70th, no, it's 81 pull. So what what Genshin did was, even though you didn't get the character you want, the next 90th roll will be the promoted banner character. So that means, if I can roll another 90 times in that Xiao banner, I will get Xiao. But if the Xiao banner ends and another banner pops up, I still have a chance. I still have that chance to get that promoted character in there. So after Xiao it was Kaching. After Xiao was Kaching, which I didn't want. I
Yeah.
had Kaching in a Xiao banner.
Oh.
So I just waited. I just waited and just gathered my Primo gems and okay, next one's Hu Tao, right? Okay, let's see how good she is. Then just start rolling. Roll in. I think Hu Tao was the 80th roll. Yeah, I was very unlucky.
Mm.
So it's all about uh collecting and waiting. Yeah, collecting and waiting, and unless you're very lucky, you get the character within the the 10th to 74th. Then you don't have to spend. So uh yeah, the rule of thumb, if you want that character so much, it's better to save rather than swimming in regret that you spend everything but you didn't get the character, or you wailed for it. But that I can't really tell people you shouldn't wail, you shouldn't. That's on you guys. Okay, so does that answer the probability
Oh,
thing?
yes. So I'll try to roll for Hu Tao tonight then. I
Wait,
I
how?
yeah, I've been playing. Sorry.
No, but have you been counting your rolls?
Uh, I think I've counted. I think the last time I got was Clay, and
You got
now
oh, you
I think I'm around. Oh no, I'm actually kind of lost count because I haven't picked
No,
Genshin for a
because
really long time.
if you get if you get a promoted character, it resets back to 90. That's how they
Wait, for real?
yeah. So I say you get a promoted character. The next one is it's still 50-50. Yeah, but if you
Ah,
fail the 50-50, the next one will be guaranteed, regardless
I
of what
see.
what promoted banner it is.
Ah, but yeah. So like for right now, I think since Clay, I think I'm around 60 something. So
Ah, so
I'm a single role player. I like to disappoint myself
single roll, not 10
multiple
roll.
yeah, multiple times in a row. Right.
Okay.
So yeah. Wait, Mr. Ken, are you a single role person?
No, I actually roll all the way because um although it sounds weird that why not single roll, because once I get that character, the other spare numbers will add towards the next roll. So it's just about being lucky on that 50-50. If you're unlucky, well, it's a 5-star character anyway. So no hard feelings.
I got disconnected. Right.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry for that. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's no hard feelings actually.
True. Right. Yeah. Uh, so I was asking if you're a 10 role person or a single role person.
Yeah, I do 10 more actually.
Ah, is
Just
it, is it
gather that 1,600 and just roll for the best.
and then disappoint yourself like less.
As always.
Yeah, true. Single roll and 10 roll, then honestly it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, and also yeah, I think I'm gonna check back
Oh, the other
on
comments.
the banners to see like what role am I soon. But yeah, so someone in the comment is saying that banner be having a green cactus. He's gonna pull a
Ah,
weapon, 5 star
the
weapon.
recurring characters,
Yeah.
weapons. And no, but because I'm a free to play player, I was focusing more on characters and not weapons. So weapons is more towards
Er,
the normal banner, the permanent banner. So far, the lost prayers, that lost prayers and skyward spine. These are the only two 5-star weapons I have. The limited ones like staff of Homa, vortex vanquisher. Yeah, I didn't get those because my emphasis is of primo gems is all gone to characters instead.
mm, right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So someone in the chat asked this: is there a character you guys are looking forward to return?
Oh,
So
looking forward to. Uh,
Gan Yu
well, I
always.
got
I'm ready. I'm just saying I'm ready to spend 400 ringgit on her.
what? No, Ganyu. Yeah, she was good, but I failed to reach 70. Well, can't be helped. Next character I'm waiting for. Not not really much, unless I'm lucky enough to get that limited character.
So wait, so is there any characters that you're looking forward to return?
Venti actually, but yeah, but I
Venti.
don't think
Oh
I don't think I will even get the privileges for that character. Because again,
no.
I'm still sticking to my free to play status.
I see.
No Welkin, no BP, no battle point. Yeah.
Rip. There goes your Venti. It's okay. It's free. It's free to play if someone donates you the money, right?
Nah, man. I mean,
gonna start
I just want to see how far will this game go as a free to play.
gonna
But,
gonna
what, yeah.
yeah, gonna start a Mr. Ken fan club right here.
No, no thanks.
Right. So yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, a little bit, a lot of questions right now.
Wow, wow.
Shin Yun Hua just asked, bestow your wisdom how to beat the Valin.
How to beat what?
How the Valin? I think the Valin is
The Valin. The
yeah,
Valin.
I
Oh,
don't remember.
the dragon.
Yeah. I think it was the dragon. I don't really want to mess up and
Well,
piss off everyone in the chat.
maybe we can have a session.
Ooh.
Let's see. Can I do this?
Baizu
Wait,
and Ayaka, yes, the new characters coming in. Am I the only one excited for Rosaria? Based on the characters I say that I'm excited on, I think you guys already know like what type of person I am.
So yeah, I have something ready for everyone here.
A
Can you see the screen?
wow, live gameplay.
Oh, sorry, disconnected. Yeah, just so you know, I'm playing on the PS4.
PS4,
So here we go.
PS4 gang. I'm pulling for Rosaria. Yes, let's go. I'm ready to spend my money. Wait, is Rosaria 4 star or 5 star? I remember it was 4 star, isn't it?
I was told it was 4 star.
Yeah, I was also told it's 4 star. I'm still spending money on her anyways.
Eh. Okay, how to
I
beat the
haven't
Valin,
got the
right?
net.
Yeah, how to
Right,
beat the
yes.
Valin. This is how I
Never.
play it, right? Don't mind me. This is just I'm just an amateur and all this.
No lah. You are
Doubting.
the mathematics god. Yeah, we're gonna have like rename to like a clickbait
Uh,
title. PS4 gang, yes. Someone in the chat. Yeah.
so here we go.
Oop. Wow, yeah, Zhongli 胡唐可信.
I mean, yeah, that's how I did the Zhongli
Amazing.
debuff.
That's my
This was a
true.
50-50 for me. No, wait, not 50-50. I got Chi in the Venti banner, so Zhongli was guaranteed. Okay, so the Valin, right?
Me with only one 5 star. It's I think my excuse is I just don't spend enough time.
Because there's one thing.
Yeah.
Genshin's way of dailies is like unlike other games where when you log in you get a daily bonus and then you just if you're lazy you just log out. This game you had to earn those
Yeah.
rainbow gems every day.
Right.
Like
You have to actually like play the quest and
yeah,
then
you have to
like
play the
yeah.
quest and
And then
then
sometimes if they don't have the quest, you have to like do the is it ley lines?
yeah, no, 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 nice. You have to do these purple things
Oh
here.
yeah, the
Yeah,
commissions.
so
Yes.
so by doing all four of them, when you talk to the adventure guild, you get 60 a day, 60 times one month's worth. You get about 1,800. That's only a 10 roll at best for a month. Yeah,
Ah,
so Atopy is a little bit suffering.
floor 11 two
and,
guide please.
and admittingly, yes, it is kind of suffering.
Right.
Wait, did I
Wait.
go
So
to?
are you about to defeat the Storm Terror with
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Barbara DPS?
Maybe not. Oh wait, wrong place. Sorry.
ah, close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
I mean, PS4 loading, it does take quite a lot.
True. PS4. Right.
All right, here I
Wait,
am.
wait. I had a question, but I forgot about it. Oh,
Oh, what's up?
nah, I just have really bad. I just have really poor place memory. Sorry. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just continue content. I'll try
All
to
right.
like jog it off.
So, I'm gonna use the characters, right? Let me just set up first.
Oh man, no Barbara DPS.
Yes, unfortunately, gotta bring the damage, right? So Klee is gonna use what Barbara was wearing just now. So status wise, you can see it all here. So yeah, it was rough getting these status up.
Wait, are you considered like pretty lucky as a free to play player? Because
In
I've seen
in a- in
quite a lot of 5 star.
in a way, yes, because the more you play on artifact dungeons, eventually
Mhm.
you will get that nice stat. But what's more important is actually the main status, like the attack for Klee because she's the main DPS, and you obviously want a Pyro for more bonus damage, and because I'm wearing the Lost Prayers, which increases critical rate, you will want a critical damage instead for the crown. So that's why it adds up to all those insane numbers we see in videos. But of course, this is not the best of the best, right? I didn't put much emphasis on Klee compared to other characters. So
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
back to this character here. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, clean best go. Not yeah, clean.
The I'm probably using Klee for this.
Mm. Right, I'm just saying clean best go because that's the only 5 star I have.
I get
Maybe
you kind of won the gacha either way. Because
true.
I think the meta is either Klee or the Ganyu.
I want both.
You want both.
Yeah, gonna wait like I don't know how many years for the Kanji run, then we're gonna spend 400 ringgit and never touch the game again.
So just in case I don't want to die. So
Wow,
okay, here we go.
Mr. Ken be flexing.
Not really.
Actually, I have no idea how. Like, of course I don't play this game often. As in, I don't grind.
Mm.
I'm usually like the type that like try to speed runs through games. So w- I know this is a very insensitive question to some people, but what is so hard about this boss?
No, it's all
Like,
about knowing the patterns of the attacks like this. He always do this 100% of the time, and then
mm,
the next iteration is he's either going to bite or he's going to do the drop down and do a flame breath. So you just drop this pillar here, just start bombing the hands.
not yes, just just a toddler, just a toddler damaging dragon farm.
Then once fall down, you just climb up the neck and just start unloading.
Bennett is better than Chichi IMO. Yeah. So someone said that yeah, Bennett is better than Chichi. What do you think?
Yes, especially if you're a healer type. But I didn't raise up the Bennett as much.
So
So
you have been pretty unlucky on the Bennett. Is it?
no, I got Bennett like 2 months ago. I was very unlucky.
Uh,
Okay,
I,
just
actually, I
okay.
actually stopped playing like yeah around that period, so I have no idea about all this like this Bennett thing. Like yeah,
No,
the only
back then a lot of people said Diluc was the DPS so much so. Then it's only later where people started realizing how good Bennett is. Okay, so let's
oh,
even do the slide attack
I
thing.
only
Just
started
go back.
yeah I only started comeback for I only started like around Ganyu and Fukao. Right yeah.
Let's use
The
the
more
bite.
the more I think, the more I'm giving myself to the
Dodge.
game. Someone named Uji Matcha asked, do you think Zhongli needs a buff? Or MiHoYo buff him because the community review?
The committee did kind of buff him up.
Ah,
Like in I'll get into details later. So let's just kill this boss away.
right, yes, Mr. Ken wants the full focus.
Alright.
Yes.
So
So
now for the count.
defeating the volume is easy. Just have 4 5-star characters in the team. Or you don't just have one play.
Down.
Ah, yes. Just have tea. That's it, guys.
So, gacha time.
Yes, gacha time. Oh,
Oh, reach treasure limit. I actually killed this boss. Oh well.
so, yeah. Kill
kind
it for nothing, yes.
of.
This is for flexing purposes.
So, time to get out of here.
Yes.
Oh, so to explain on Zhongli's buff, uh, if I read correctly, there was a lot of flack regarding Zhongli being weak, and when I got him, he was not. If he felt like a 4-star to me in terms of
Mm.
damage and all that. So after reading the updates, what they did was they take his HP and then add towards his bonus. So if we do the calculations, and look at his updates, there was one thing called here. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Dominance of Earth. So it says here, normal attacks, charge attack, plunging attacks increase by 1.39 of his max HP, and the Stone City and all this is actually increased 1.9 of max HP. So all of this is they are basically flat attacks. So that means if I have 30,000 HP for Zhongli, you would take 1.39 and 1.9 respectively and put it on top of the skills, which is his Stone Pillar and his normal attacks. Because if you look at his normal attacks, it's ridiculously low at level 5. So it's like
Yeah.
even though I have 1,000 attack, he's gonna do 400 only.
Yeah. What Simon mentioned is that people trying to play him as the carry.
No, I don't see. No, after looking at the status, I don't. You can, but he's better off as support because of his recent addition to the skill. Because previously his 20% reduction skill was not added until recently. This jade
Mm.
shield buff. So not only he reduces the resistance, he also the new dominance of Earth helped a bit on top of his attack. So what was once 400 to 500 is now 800 to 900, depending on your critical and also your bonuses.
Alright, I see. So that's it. By the way, I know it's a question that's very awkward to ask on stream, but is this supposed to be a 1 hour stream or is this supposed to be like longer? I
Uh,
actually have no idea. I'm like just like,
well,
are we on time?
I think we are like it's the 25 minutes before 4.
Wait, so it's until 4. Ah, right. So I can ask way more questions. We can still ask way more questions, and
Hmm.
we can also, yes, make Mr. Ken
I
show
mean,
off more of
you
his stuff.
can play as a DPS type. It's just for those who want to play DPS only, this you got to increase all your talents to very to up to 9, 10 if you want to make it the your main DPS kind of thing. Because level 10, you need a very unique item that's only available through events. So they kind the MiHoYo actually gated the talent level at maximum. So I think some of my friends ask, should I use this crown? But if I use this crown, I may not use it on the next character. Then I told them, well, if it's your best character, then why not? So it's a real choice of spending those things.
See. So, well, there you have it. Zhongli is
Mm.
good now, not as a carry.
Not
But you played. But wait, do you think you can do it like like Barbara DPS?
Barbara
You can
DPS
do
style.
Zhongli.
Well, it can be done. It can be done, but just that this is physical.
I
So
see.
yeah, if you
Wait, is Barbara DPS even viable?
it is actually because
Wait, it is.
if provided you're lucky on the artifacts also.
Ah,
So yeah,
dang.
I gave Barbara Wanderer's trope because of the charge attack. Because when I was studying how to do damage against her, her charge attack is actually ridiculously very high compared to her normal attacks. So hey, hold on, if this is 2.49, and I use Wanderer's 35 every charge attack, then I should be able to put a lot of damage in not just her non reaction, but Wanderer's troop adds 80 there, so I get 50% more on top of the times two
Yeah.
amount. So it's actually quite ridiculous to if I do a vaporize on a fire enemy.
Mm.
I mean, yeah,
So DPS Barbara is
it's vi-
exclusively good against a fire enemy.
yes, it's viable. Oh,
Oh,
well,
hello.
what am I saying?
Right. So, okay. This is one question I got through private message because I
Yeah,
think he's too shy. It's a very weird question, but I have the answer for that. What do you do with Amber?
Amber.
Yeah.
Amber is a different spot compared to Arium because she does Fyro, understandable, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the setup that you have for her, which she only throws a Baron Bunny, and the explosion's a lot, but it's also you have to rely on that bunny exploding, which comes to the other constellation, which is this one. Uh, hitting the foot of the Baron Bunny with a fully charged aim shot will detonate it. So you need to play a lot of things in terms of, hey, you need to aim with this bunny to do more damage. And if you're doing a charge shot type of Amber, you need to utilize bows that actually helps you do that, like increase critical rate, so on and so forth.
I was already prepared to reply him by saying you do nothing with Amber.
I have a friend who's trying to do a level 90 Amber. See how far can.
What? Why?
I mean,
Level 90 then
he has the time for it. So
oh right, yes, time.
I'll just wait for the results.
Right. Imagine spending like 2 million moras and like I don't know. Wait, how many?
Two million 93,400 mora and
Like
a whole ton of books.
a whole ton of books. I don't know how Mr. Ken can remember like the amount of moras spent like just out like right off.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. All on Emperor.
it really depends. So yeah.
I don't know. For me that I mean
Oh,
probably I'm too out of
it
the
also
loop,
leads to
but
this particular character. A lot of my friends told me, why am I using uh this
GG.
GG for healing, and I'm doing so much damage. Because this was my first 5-star character, and I noticed she was terrible in her damage. So after reading up on all the formulas, so what I did was, okay, she's not gonna do ice damage in that whole period. So rather than focusing on ice damage, I focused on physical.
Ooh.
So with this 109.8, that means I'm doing 2.098 bonus damage on top of her regular attack, which is 2000. You can see there. So it's like 2000 times 2.098, then times with all the talents that she has here. It means with all these abilities here, it will scale up, and you go to the critical. It's not much, but it's enough for me to do more than 200 to 300 damage, which she was very poor at.
It's not much, but it's honest work.
Yeah, no, not much honest work lah. So and this will at least put her on a slightly higher equal ground to the other DPS characters in co-op and other so forth.
I see. Right. So that concludes that section. Chichi best healer, yeah. Chichi's healing is skilled to her attack, yeah.
Yeah, it is geared towards her attack.
Ah, I didn't know about that. I mean, I'm sorry that my only 5 star that I have experience with is just
No,
Clay and
Barbara
only to
scales by HP, and yeah.
yeah. That also I know. And I unfortunately my in my account I have really terrible luck with every anything except for Barbara. I have reached C6 Barbara before I got the 5 star.
Oh, I mean, after seeing what's happening, then yeah, Barbara's viable.
Yeah, yeah, Barbara is viable now. Yeah, my clear out of the window. DPS Barbara is now the cool thing.
It's also the books that you have also. I was lucky with the Lost Prayer,
Mm.
so the Lost Prayer was actually really help
Oh
in the
yeah, yes,
campaigns.
the five yeah the 5 star. Well, never mind then. DPS Barbara, you're god.
You can use this if you have it. Sacrificial fragments.
So right, so just one of the other questions I have in my mind. So let's say
Hmm.
you just got a new character,
Right.
like a brand new one. Wait, which character I have in mind?
Oh, you
Let's
mean
just
this?
got like let's just say like Hu Tao.
You
Yeah,
mean this one?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, my imaginary Hu Tao that I just got tonight later when I spend my time, no money. Right. Yeah. So once you get a new character, what do you do with it? Let's say you really want it in your team.
Oh, you really want a team? Mm,
Sorry.
it's more of maybe explain more of Hutao. So when people told me that Hutao does more damage based on her base attack, I had this impression. Wait, do you mean the lower her HP, the more damage she did? So when I got her, and start doing all the study, I realized that her damage is actually, especially her buff is skilled towards the white one, the base attack. So let's if you go to her talent and you see this one, it says here increase Hutao's attack based on her max HP at the time of entering this state. That means once you activate, you will get the buff, which is flat attack, just like Bennett. Then attack bonus gained this way cannot exceed 400% of Hutao's base attack, which is the white one. So if I have 502, that means I can add up to 2008 worth of flat attack. So that means 2008 plus 838. That's a lot of damage going on. And the the one thing about Genshin characters is you can go up to 600 to 700 attack. That means the more base attack Hu Tao gets, the more threshold you can get on her buff. But that means the looking back at the talent, it says here, sorry, 5.66 max attack HP, no max HP. So if I have um 10,000 HP, 10,000 HP times 5.66, I will only get 566 attack for that buff. So then that means hey, if she gets 30,000, I can get about 1,500, which is almost close to the max cap. But which comes to the even more bigger issue of having too much base attack. If I have 700 base attack, I need 2,800. 2,800 going back to this 5.66. Huta needs 40 to 45,000 HP. That's a hard hurdle to climb. Because in playing this game, I never seen any character going that high of HP amount just to
Just to
reach,
increase that attack.
yeah, just to increase their attack. But as I mentioned, you have to set a balance on her bonus damage and also critical. So when my friend said, hey, if we go so high, then how are we going to do artifacts in that manner? Because artifacts can only go so far. in terms of putting HP percentage and flat HP for Hu Tao. Then which also goes back to her limited weapon, which is Staff of Homa. Staff of Homa increases her HP percentage by a good amount. So that's why Staff of Homa is actually made for her. So after much consideration and balancing, my friend and I said, okay, if you're not going to get Staff of Homa, we should try to have a certain amount where it's fair for her HP and her damage, while also putting emphasis on the bonus damage. So uh, I have this thing called the White Tassel. So the White Tassel states here, increase normal attack damage by 48%. So that means any normal attack I do, I get a 1.8 bonus. And then my friend said, hey, if I combine this with the Gladiators final, the 4P states, if the wielder uses a sword, claymore, or polearm, increase normal attack by 35. So that means 35 plus 48, I get 83. So 83 along with a Pyro Cup, which is 46.6. So you get you get how to say 129.6 129.6 damage bonus, which is equivalent to 2.296. So 2.296, hey, that's a lot if you do normal attacks. So rather than putting too much HP just for the sake of getting more flat attack, why don't we go this route instead? So after much consideration of building this set, she's doing a lot of damage, even though my HP is not capping the right amount. So that's how I found Hu Tao very interesting as a character.
And then is that like what? Is that what you thought like when you like just got her and then like
Yeah. So my friend wanted to main Hu Tao and kept asking me a lot of questions. So,
yes, the master.
and he told me, hey, you're getting Hu Tao too, right? Why don't you help me do this? Ah, fine, fine, fine.
Yes, help me. Right.
So when the moment I turn on this buff, so let's see, 29212 times 5.66, right? So
Mm-hmm.
5.66. So I get about quite the amount, 1,400 like that. So the moment I turn on this, if I turn on this buff right now, you actually see it. So 838, right? So when I turn on the buff, and you can see it right now. So 2491 minus 838. So that is the amount of bonus I'm getting directly from her buff.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Yes. I'm a prey now. Please tonight. Without please. Right. So we do have about 10 minutes left. I think it's time for like I don't know final questions if anyone has it. Cough
Right.
Zongli cough. Yes. Without Zongli. Zongli for everything.
Again, just so you know, this is free to play.
It's free to play, guys. Yeah, Christ. Yeah. Does anyone have any more questions? No. I think that's just about it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. Right. Right now we're just chilling. Right. Yeah. So I do not have any other questions in mind. I'm still trying to process behind all the mathematics that's going on with Genshin and all the formulas, right? So I guess for my last questions is that let's say this question is more towards I think
Hmm.
oh a very quick question before I ask my question is Horizon asks how far have you gotten into the abyss?
Due to time constraints, I only went
Free to
on
play by the way.
on the ninth floor. So no, the floor nine. Yeah, floor nine. So I have friends who have gone to the beach several times, and every time I see their chat, they're always crying and cursing the 7th floor.
Me.
And when I told them, hey, am I ready? He said they look at my character and said, no, get banned to level 80. Okay.
F.
Yeah. So
Right.
and they told me Barbara is useless in ninth floor and above. Which when I tried ninth floor, yeah, they were right. Barbara didn't help.
Yes. There goes my C6 Barbara in the
No,
corner.
it really depends. Abyss feels like a place where your character build and setup really matters. So if you have this character and it's around level 80 plus, and you're set up properly, you can enter, just not optimize. So
I see.
I do think the Abyss floor 9 and above is considered end game content.
Right.
Mm.
So okay, that's the. I wanted to chat just hashtag free to play, by the way. Right. So I think I guess my questions. I think it's like I guess like my final questions. I guess
All
it's
right.
more towards the I think game for the developers out there. It's more of a you talked a lot about the mathematics behind Genshin Impact, and
Mm.
this of course heavily relates on the game technology side and the game mechanic side. So, is there anything that Genshin Impact done really correctly that the game, I guess the game developers out there, like in the game in our school, the game devs should take notice?
Very very interesting question.
Yeah,
The thing about Genshin is that there's a lot of things to see, not just the aesthetics that you see in this town, but also the numbers over here. So the one thing about the numbers we see here, although you have the multiplications and adding with all the percentages going on, the we don't actually see us at from an outsider point of view, we can't really see where did they round up the numbers. Because if you check back the calculations that we did for Barbara, I was off by a certain amount, and every time I try to recalculate back, it doesn't go to where I want. So that's why in the developer point of view, you may have all these status going on. It's just that the consideration is, do you want the enemy to have the same parameters? Because if the enemy has the same parameters like attack, defense, and then mastery, it's going to be a lot of calculations going on in terms of setting the actual damage. That is why Mihoyo went to the route where I take your level, any enemy level, and just do a simple division, and you get this particular number. So this is where we have to see how far do you want to go on putting your damage, and also doing your calculations, so that it's easier for you as a developer to know, okay, where did it go wrong. Then you double check your functions, your parameters, and also your variables.
I see. So
And which
oh sorry,
mm,
you can
which
continue.
also, yeah, which ties back to Zhongli being an issue. So when Zhongli had a lot of complaints about his attacks, the you, we can actually study that what caused the issue was his his normal attack talents being very low, and this won't cut it. You see, it's level 5, but the resonant damage is only 42% of his base. So if Mihoyo try to increase this side, it may break Zhongli to a certain extent, which they don't want. That's why they went to this route instead, where, okay, rather than bumping the talents percentages, which is very easy for them, they want to make Zhongli more technical, where you must increase his HP so that you can see more damage on him. These are the considerations that the developers have to go when you want to to rebalance a character. It may seem simple that okay, the Zhongli is weak. Let's just bump his talents here and call it a day. But but in fair consideration, if you do that and then suddenly he turns out to be more broken, then you can't retract back your rebalancing, because if you do that, you're gonna get more backlash. So that's why when it's I find it unique that MiHoYo went this way instead.
See, so right, that's it. So right, so as a very short, like a very short thought that I came up at the back, is that you mentioned about the way route that MiHoYo took when it comes to the damage calculations.
Mm.
Is this, does this mean that like, is the level more, did MiHoYo consider level as the more important factor in this case as compared to like others?
Level.
Yeah,
You mean
because
you
you
mean
did, yeah,
character level?
yes, character levels also sorry,
So
but like
the for the as the from all its balancing and setup, the level does help the character's base attack and base HP, which ties towards whatever talents that links to it. For example, um, Albedo. Albedo
mhm,
has a talent where if he plants his skill on the ground, every attack he does will trigger an additional attack that scales towards his defense. So uh, when my friend told me, hey, he actually uses defense their attack. So how do we calculate this? So after we did the testing and everything, he had albedo C2. We found out that the you triggering those additional attacks is similar to the damage formula, but instead of using uh, attack status, we use defense status instead. So you take the defense status times with all the defense artifacts and flat defenses, then you times with the abilities percentage, which scales on his defense, and then you add in the critical, add in the bonus damages, and you get a really damaging character for Albedo that scales to his defense instead of his attack.
I see. So
So yeah,
yeah,
so
so
when,
continue.
yeah, after he found out, my friend made a 1900 defense albedo, and all he did was he plants the flower down, swaps to his DPS, and just do all the damage, while albedo at the back is dealing about 4000 to 8000 damage per trigger. It's
Nice.
it's it's insane.
Yikes. Right. So I think that's about it. It is 4 o'clock sharp. So once again, right, yeah. So right, yeah. So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Ken, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, yeah. So I guess right. So yeah. So that's it for today's on Friday. Uh, yeah. So we do have events like this coming out. I don't know if there's any next week, but I think there's another week, one the week after.
Ah,
Right. So yeah. So by the way, yeah, if you're in KDU, sorry, UW and
UW.
KDU. Yes, I'm
Don't
still trying
worry,
to
don't
get used
worry.
to it. It's very hard for me to get it out of my system. But like, yeah, if you are interested in doing, if you are an SCCM student
Oh.
and you're interested in doing these type of events, creating content, chatting with the lecturers, and yeah, provide fun memes or like educational content for the students. For the students of SCCM, feel free to join us. We are Dice. Yeah, we are Dice, and yeah, the student of SCCM, and yeah, we are still looking for people who are interested to join us in the content creation team. But like, yes, that is that it. Yeah, sorry. Ah,
Hmm.
my tongue.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
fine. It's fine.
so yeah, that it is today. Yeah, I'm
Today
Wesley.
and Fridays.
Yes, this today on Friday. Yes. that it is. I'm Wesley. This is
And I'm
Mr. Ken.
Ken. All
Yes. Right. Bye bye.
right, sayonara.